Hi everyone, welcome back to Jaja Draws. So, a while ago, probably maybe a year and a half at this point, I was participating in a online art challenge that a friend had set up. And what she was doing was she was giving out sort of mismatch themed and then asking people to put them together in some sort of art challenge. So I did all kinds of different things. Um, but one of my prompt couplets was an art style and a creature, and I got Picasso, an elephant. And this is what I created for that. I feel like I have to say right now that I'm not a huge fan of Picasso, mainly because he wasn't a good dude. Um, and because of that, I've always sort of disdained Cubism because I couldn't detach it from the man who did it. But when doing the elephant, I had such a good time, and I really enjoyed the way that it turned out. And it occurred to me that I really enjoy doing something like that again. And I'd had this sort of lingering image of a cat, a twisted, sort of monstrous cat leering at me, or leering at the viewer in mind. And so I thought, hey, instead of trying to draw that realistically, which I did actually try several times and it didn't quite turn out the way I'd been hoping, I thought, what if I use that same sort of stylistic attitude towards it that I had used on my Picasso elephant and go with that, because it's slightly surreal and you get to focus on the aspects that are critical to you and sort of get to focus on colors that evoke what you're trying to evoke as opposed to trying to make it look realistic. So I was really happy with that idea. So I put down my sketch, and I started filling it in. I went with purples. There were a couple of moments where I filled in an entire color and then felt like I had to go back and adjust it because it wasn't reading well with the other one. In general, I just chose this really pinky purple color palette, and I really sort of enjoyed emphasizing the shapes of the cat as opposed to, the optical illusion of fur and all that stuff. I had a really good time. When I was done, I had a very difficult time deciding whether I was going to go with line work or keep sort of this sketchy outline that I'd used. I sometimes really like the look of the sketch better than I like the solid line work, but it doesn't look as clean to me. And so I went in and did line work, and I think I probably made a mistake there. I think I would have been happier if I'd essentially done a cleaner sketch layer, but still used a sketch layer as opposed to trying to do a line work layer, because it made everything much harsher and less, fluid in the shapes. But, I mean, there you are. You live, you learn. I did completely fail to record when I was originally doing the hashing in the green. I'd found some Picasso images that used kind of hatching in shading in places, and I wanted to try and replicate that. So I got done with it, and I was fine with it at first. But then I went back and looked at the original elephant piece, and I was so disappointed. I had completely failed to capture basically any of the things that I really loved about the elephant. So I was like, I thought I was done, but I guess I'm not done. So I went back in and I took myself back down to the base colors that had been in everything. I erased any of the airbrush shading. I colored over all the hatch marks, and I basically started from scratch with the actual coloring portion. And then I went in and I used the same colors. I really liked the green tones juxtaposed with the purple. Purple and green are my favorite colors, so big shock there. But I really liked those sort of greens leading into teals as the highlights and shadows on the purple. But instead of doing them in hatching, I abandoned the hatching and I went for solid fill color, which was more similar to what I'd had on the elephant. And I really went back to focusing on shapes again. And I have to say, this was just so much more pleasing to me, both as I was doing it and when I got to the end result. I was just so much happier about the whole thing. So I went in with a really pale green on my highlight colors. I went in with a dark but still sort of tealish color that was sort of a mid shadow or my lighter shadowed areas. And then I also picked up a very dark green for some of the darkest shadows. And I just, the entire shape language, it ends up looking like one of those kids' puzzles that you put together and then it makes the shape of a cat, even though it's not like clearly cat pieces when it's taken apart. I don't know. It still doesn't quite evoke the same feeling that the elephant did. I still feel like the solid line work is too harsh. But in general, I'm just much more pleased with this second attempt than I was with the first. So let me know what you think. Do you like the Picasso elephant? Do you like my second attempt with the Picasso-esque cat? Did you like the first one better? I mean, art's very subjective. You tell me what you think. Thanks for watching. See you guys later. Bye.